Hey guys, it's me Nas, and welcome to the episode of Monday Night Raw and the Wednesday night's NXT New Year's Evil, where I didn't post this immediately, but I'm going to discuss anyways. Um, Between the two shows, we already know that Stranger Things has collabed for Monday Night Raw, and it was supposed to be the first year anniversary of Netflix for Raw. But as a matter of fact, honestly, the collab wasn't that. I'm not really a fan of Stranger Things. I haven't even watched. Some people may say it's good, but regardless, it's not really a show that I am looking forward. I kind of think that last year's first um, episode of Raw in the Netflix era is way better than what we have this, Stranger Things collab. And it's kind of a bit odd because in New Year's Evil we got also the same format where three first matches are all women's matches, and then we got the main event, which is a male type of main event for the championship. And it's the same thing where we have no new champions for the men because of course CM Punk and Oba retain. But the thing is that it's kind of a bit odd that it has the same format. But when it comes to which is way better, I think NXT's New Year's Evil is way better. And I will tell you why. So before that, we're gonna discuss first the matches that I'm not gonna put too much of it. I would say it's good or it's alright or maybe it's not so great. But there's some explanation to some. So in Raw, the first match was basically we got Rhea and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors for the Women's Tag Team Championships, and Rio won. The real question is, who is going to step up? Because at this point, you got basically, looking like the two women power trip of a duo that is like in singles competition they're good. Now they're in a tag team championships. I think the best way that for them if they ever lose the championships is to have a three team of a match or four-way tag team types of match in some cases in order to you know separate, and then we need both of these women to be back in the singles competitive stage because unfortunately, yeah, like Stephanie's already hurt. We need Raw women's singles types, and I don't know why. For some reason, they kind of focus on the tag team for women. But I guess this is their way of, let's give some life to the women's tag team. But the match, it was alright. Like, it's not really that much of you know, a bad match. Like you start off with something big. This is similar to last Friday night where you started with the 8-woman tag team match. Alright, so the next match we also get Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky won the match, and here's the thing. For some reason, they crowned Maxine as the new champ, and then this is the same situation that happened in NXT when you got Tatum Paxley who won the women's NXT women's championship, and then for the women's North American championship to Tia Hale, where you basically crowned the favorites or the crowd favorites, and then they lost the belt immediately. Didn't have a good title reign, which is like I don't know why, but I guess we all know WWE's for the moments. Arguably not the best match of the night for Raw, especially that the women's Intercontinental Championship. Like it has to be to start New Year, and this is also some type of a obvious prediction that when you got two new women's championships, that means that CM Punk is gonna retain because there's no way that WWE is gonna decide, you know what, we're gonna make Punk lose his championship So you got basically three new champions in Monday night. So I guess it is the right choice that WWE, to let Punk retain. Where we're gonna discuss that later on. And then the next match we got Lyra versus Liv Morgan. Liv won the match, and I don't know. It's like a regular match that they added in, which is like okay. And the last one is the main event. The main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, Braun Breaker versus CM Punk. CM Punk retains. It was a good match, and honestly, this match saved the whole night. Because if you got not good main events, the match, everything that was concept for Raw is really bad. And with this collab, because each segment had this uh, chapters, and for some reason, I don't know, it's like one of those things that Netflix, it's not based on WWE, because I'm sure WWE or whoever booked didn't even care at all, or even if they do care, it's not that as good. Like last year was alright compared to what we have this night, but still, it's kind of a bit obvious that Braun wouldn't win the championship. It would be, more predictable now that Braun may going to win the Rumble so that he could main event WrestleMania and get the championship, or maybe win the Elimination Chamber. Sorry, maybe win that one to compete against Punk once again. That could happen, but we'll see. Now the next one would be New Year's Evil NXT. Honestly, this is way better than Raw. The first three matches, of course, same format where, well, at first it was confusing that we thought that we could have Thea Hale versus Blake Monroe, but it happened. And then they decided, you know what, because Blake is now banned from NXT, she's going to call up in the main roster. There's a lot of people are ready for the main roster. So, of course, it's one of those things that they continue with the show to start off with Tatum Paxley versus Easy Dame, and then Easy loss, which is a good match. This is how you open a good show for two women who has this type of long-term booking of a story. Knowing that it was interesting that Tatum got the win, Easy got another loss, and then moving forward, we got the NXT Women's Champion JC Jane defends her belt against Kendall Gray, the Evolves Women's Champion. And, it's the numbers game. Similar. So, of course, the match was alright. We got JC won. And I think the only time that Kendall's gonna get another shot of a championship, for her to lose the Evolve Women's Champion so that she can move to NXT, or for some reason get another shot, and then I could see her winning at Stand and Deliver unless that was the direction, but who knows. But still, Kendall is still young, like she still has opportunity, so give her some more time, and then you can at least give her the belt. Alright, then the next one was, for some reason, this is the open challenge for the Women's North American Championship, which Thea Hale decides, you know what, I'm gonna defend my belt despite I got hurt from Blake. And it turns out it was Easy Dane who answers the call, and she won, which is crazy that she lost in her match against Tatum, and then she won the NXT North American Champion. So we're going to have a another, I guess, fight between EC versus Tatum for the North American Championship, but you can add Tia to the story, so we could see that. It will be a bit interesting, but who knows. And then after this, we get to segments, of course, that most of the time the segments that they add in is Ethan Page, of course, and then you got the Vanity Project coming in. You also got other individuals, but after that, we get to the actual main event. And this is the thing that's a bit interesting, because in the main event we got Obafemi versus Leon Slater, the X Division TNA champion, and they they did do a good match. But of course, that crucifix pin, that was kind of a bit scary because I thought that Leon is gonna win the match because that is a near count of three, and good thing Oba kicked out. That was scary, but of course, people thought that Leon is gonna win this match so that he will be a NXT champion and X Division champion. But for some reason, it's one of those things that WWE cannot let Oba lose. But it is one of those things that they kind of book Oba strong. After Oba beats Leon Slater, that's when Leon was already out. Oba does the same thing in his entrance, that type of stance with the spotlight. We move into the segment between the NXT general manager Aba and then the Evolve wrestlers. So this is all about opportunity because a lot of people has been calling up at this point, of course, and then Robert Strong comes in and he said, "Do you see what Oba has done?" And then we went back to the ring. The championship was there. It is a sign that at that point Oba relinquished his belt. Tony D is looking at the stands. He could be potentially to win the NXT champion, who knows? But that's the thing. We're going to maybe have a tournament for NXT to determine who will be the next NXT champion. I think what's best, because some people would say when we're going to crown a new champ, it's either, you know, the next PLE for NXT, or maybe we'll wait for Stand and Deliver. If they're gonna do Stand and Deliver, they need to have a multi-man in this tournament, a lot of men to determine. But who knows? They can at least do it like short amount of time with people who are deserved. But we'll see. Or maybe they're gonna do a battle royal to determine who is going to be the NXT champion. It could happen. So that's basically it. So I think overall the shows, New Year's Evil is way more better than Raw, hands down. Because sometimes you question yourself about the story and you question about what's next. But I think that New Year's Evil have more surprise. New Year's Evil has basically they know how to handle. Like Sean, he knows how to handle. And I understand some people would feel in the way, why would they book this and that in Raw? Again, first of all, the collaboration, that's for Netflix. If people are blaming Triple H, well, here's the thing about Triple H, because back then in NXT, he books good matches. I don't know why main roster in 2025 this had to happen, and then in the first night of 2026 we have this again. But now, once we're done in the US part for Raw, they're gonna go to European for going to the Rumble. So now we're going to focus first, because on SmackDown later on, by the timing of this post of this video, we were going to have SmackDown on Germany for the 3 stages of hell. I hope that because my bet, it's gonna be obvious that Cody's gonna win, but if it would be surprising if Drew wins to finally beat Cody, but we'll see. I'm very interested with the 3 stages of hell, but who knows. So yeah, that's basically it for my review for episode 1 for both Raw and NXT, or NXT's New Year's Evil. So yeah, that will be all, and again, it depends on you guys if you think that one is great, but to me, it had to be New Year's Evil for sure. They are way better than what we have in Raw. So that's all I can say. Thank you for watching. We'll see each other in the next episode, which is episode 2, SmackDown, after after the match of Cody will determine if it's a good result or not. So again, once again, thank you for watching, guys. We'll see each other in the next video. Peace.